There he is. He's here. You guessed it. Different. Well, it's not a different color, but we are here. All right, here we go. We're actually talking about the nonprofit community today. No cars involved. Well, maybe a little bit, but no cars involved here today. So let's get right to it. What's coming up this weekend? If you've been following along, what's coming up this weekend is none other than the Take Steps Walk. I got that T-shirt in here too. But the Take Steps Walk for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. This spin was one of the events that we did last year, and I look forward to doing that one again because that was a whole lot of fun. And this year, this weekend, May 1st, is the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation Walk at Belmont Lake State Park. And let's get that going over here. Yeah, it's another one we've prepared well in advance for this whole thing. All right, there we go. All right, we're good. There you go, Alex. You like that little intro there? Try something new and exciting and different. So this weekend, May 1st, is the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation Walk back at Belmont Lake State Park. Really excited about it. So for so many different reasons. Personally, just very excited about it. One, this nonprofit is near and dear to the heart. It's affected our family, affected a lot of friends too, affected a lot of our business associates too. So some people that have been affected by Crohn's and colitis. That's out there. So this is our one of the big fundraisers that we do, but it's more than that. So as you saw in that intro there, 240 was the goal. We were just shy of that one, and that was a couple of days ago. So my guess is we probably got there, and thanks to you, we're reaching that goal. We definitely reached that goal. I know we're getting ready to make another donation ourselves for the cause. The cause is, of course, to find a cure for Crohn's and/or colitis. Real brief, what that is, it's a digestive disease. It's irritable bowel disease, not syndrome, disease. So it's the body attacking the body. It's another one of these autoimmune diseases. And I somehow believe that they're all connected in some way, shape, or form. And I'm hoping that somebody, perhaps this is the big message in there, that somebody within that autoimmune disease arena will go figure out that common gene that's just gone a little bit awry over here. And it's kind of messing up the bodies and joints, and digestive systems, etc. Quite a few people. And that probably is somewhat the message here, because nothing was ever done alone. Nothing will ever be accomplished alone. It certainly takes a lot of people to make it happen. So this walk in and of itself will be a couple of thousand people. There's a few different fundraisers that goes along with it. How come this walk is a success? Well, it's because of you. It's because of the people that are out there supporting this thing. There's people that are part of the teams. It's those that are supporting those who have been diagnosed. And it's also the corporate world. And that's where we're going to stay here today. The corporate world. Generically speaking, too, it's not why should XYZ company support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. All right, I mean, I can give you an example of that. If you're one of these companies that makes a drug that is used in the treatment of people with Crohn's and colitis that have been diagnosed with Crohn's and colitis, okay, there's an absolute direct correlation for them. If you're a doctor, a GI doctor, a gastrointestinal doctor, okay, there's a clear reason why you should come out and support something like this. And a couple of companies really do, but they're not out there talking about the medication so much, but they are donating and they are helping, and they're helping to keep those other expenses covered. You got to keep a website going. Some people got to get paid. There's just some expenses that go along with it besides the fundraiser. But what is it for those companies that don't have that absolute direct involvement? Why do they get involved? What's in it for them? Should there be something in it for them? Or it's just a good company? But even if it is just a good company, well, isn't that saying something about the company? Yeah, it absolutely is. Everything that company does or does not do says something about the company. Look, there's a company out there right now in the midst of some controversy because they won't fly a certain flag on their property. Should they? Should they not? You know, I don't know. I would tend to. Well, let's go. Should they? Should they not? Let's just leave it. Maybe I won't answer the question. Chicken Little over here. Maybe I won't answer the question. I probably should answer the question, but I have all the facts together on that one. But I can tell you what I would do in my own company, in my own world, on different things. But should the company fly the flags representing various other communities on their property? Now, obviously, they're going to fly their own flag. I mean, that goes without saying. Maybe they fly the U.S. flag. Okay, all that's good. Maybe they fly the flags of other countries because they're a global company. Maybe that's good. But if they decide not to fly the flag of some cause, is that good or bad? Well, if they want to keep themselves in a very corporate world, very corporate, very clean, and not avoiding controversy even by doing this, it doesn't do that. But everything the company does represents that company. So here, companies at the walk. I mean, there's quite a few companies, and I'm not going to name them today. I will name them ad nauseum on Sunday, May 1st, with let's say get on stage talking about them. And but so these companies are out there. Why are they there? Well, let's go. Drug companies, direct correlation. Got that. Okay, that's good. Little weaker correlation, but it kind of makes sense too. What about a company that works with or offers a drink that fights off dehydration? Should they be there? Well, now that's not everybody's got dehydration issues when it comes to from the disease standpoint. And a lot of folks have got the intestine, have so many operations on the intestine, it gets shortened up quite a bit. And if it's the large intestine is where a lot of liquids do get absorbed. So dehydration is an issue. It really is an issue for some people, but not everybody, and that kind of thing. So does it make sense for them to do that? You know what? It's good. It definitely is good. It's in front of their target market. All right. But they could also be spending that time, energy, and effort at a running club, sponsoring a marathon, half marathon, 10K, anything. All right. Because now those people also have hydration issues for different reasons. They're healthy and they have hydration issues. The other ones are a little unhealthy and they have hydration issues. So the company could be going one way or the other, or both ways for that fact. What is that saying about the company? What is it saying about the company? Is it saying that a company is that they are reaching out to various communities, even if it's not a perfect fit, but they want to be seen as part of the community? That's a big factor. Like we've seen all these reports and talks about employees are not engaged with companies, but I wonder, are companies engaged with employees? Right? Is it really your responsibility as an employee to be engaged with your company? No. Depends why you're there, of course. But if you're just there for the paycheck, you're just there for the paycheck. Okay, it was one woman I ran across uh, working with prior things. This is not a reflection of anybody current, so if anybody's listening to this thing, that's it. She doesn't even like social media, so there's no way she would ever know that this is taking place. And it goes way back. All the rest of that stuff. Gosh, I'm talking disclaimers on this one. But she worked 9 to 5. She was there promptly at 9 o'clock. She left promptly at 5 o'clock. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She had an hour for lunch. She took an hour for lunch. She had a 15-minute break. She took a 15-minute break. That's it. Boom. Played so much by the rules. That's what it was. But it was a job. It was just a job. Was she engaged with the company? Every payday, she was engaged with the company. Beyond that, nah. She did her job. She was very competent. She did everything that she was supposed to do. So, good employee. Definitely a good employee. Not engaged. Is it her responsibility to be engaged with the company? Or should it be the other way around, the company with her? She was at her level. I think it really becomes the company. I think it becomes the company's issue in that case to engage with her. And then the question is, how? How does a company do that? Well, they do that in a couple of different ways. You could offer somebody a raise, which is all well and good. For her, it wouldn't inspire her to work more. She would take I'm sure she would take the money, and she would still come in at 9 o'clock and leave at 5 o'clock. Not put any more effort into it, not put any less effort into whatever she was expected to do, and that kind of thing. But what if? Let's go with that. What if? What if? And I'm going to take a sip of coffee while you think about the what if. What if? Oh, I still got my mask hanging up over there. Hey, you know what? There are times and places for those masks. What if that company went back to her and said, hey, you, not going to mention names, hey, you employee, hey, you employee, I see that you work at 9 to 5. We love the work you do. You're really competent. You're great. All good. What else are you interested in? Are you looking for growth within the company? Is this something you're involved with outside of the company? Tell us something about what's going on, with you. How's it going? What's up? How's your husband? Stuff like that. Now, I know that her husband had an issue from a health standpoint. And I also know that that company never asked. They never asked. They were happy. She came in at 9 and they left at 5. And that was it. She left at 5. No engagement at all. But I wonder what would have happened if they did have that conversation with her. I said, look, I know that your husband's got this issue over here. Would like to do, if there's some nonprofit, if there's some event coming up, something like that you're involved with, would like to help you out in some way. Really? That would have been my thinking of her response if that company did that. That all of a sudden says that that company, that manager, that whatever, is now looking at her as a team player because they care about her. Don't care about, they're not focused solely on the work that she's doing, but they're asking her about her. And that's where I think that this walk, whether it be for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, whether it be for United Cerebral Palsy, I was there for that one. Autism, whether it's a blood donating blood, the group of guys that are in my area, they all got together and they all donated blood. I wound up at T-shirts, and so I think they paid for their own T-shirts. It wasn't that they got it; they got the candy bars. But it was like, wow, they cared about each other. That company cared. Those employees now understand that the company cares about them. I tend to think, and I'm not asking her, I don't speak to her anymore anyhow, that she would be more engaged with the company, not because she got a 50 cents an hour raise, $1 an hour raise, a $5,000 raise. Gave her 50 grand, she might be more engaged. But by finding out what's going on with her life personally and supporting something that actually means something to her, that she's engaged in, not engaged with the company, maybe the company should engage with her. That's it. So now, as a company, how do you do that? You can do that with a lot of one-on-one conversations. And I will use this. This is another real-life example, and I think it was absolutely terrific. Really terrific. Here's a company, and they're based in Hauppauge. And I don't know what they're doing. Don't want to give out names and all the rest of that stuff. Sorry about that. But they allowed the employees to pick nonprofits that they wanted to get behind. That's it. Left it up to the employees. They set up a committee. Employees were on the committee. Everybody put in whatever nonprofit they wanted to get behind, stuff like that. And then it was voted on by the employees. I'm sure there was some kind of vetting process that went along behind the whole thing too, to make sure that the nonprofit is a valid 501c3, that the expenses are all online or in line with what they should be and the rest of that stuff. And if you want to know how to do that, by the way, you can just go to Charity Navigator. Charity Navigator, it's free, and you can look up any nonprofit. And what you want to take a look at there is to see what their expense ratio is. So for every dollar that you donate, how much of that is actually going to the cause that you want to see that they're working on, not just the expenses. And there's certainly different ways companies, I'm sure the nonprofits break that apart. You get some corporation that donates the website. Well, now that website is paid for by that company, so the company donates 100% to the website, and that's it. They're fine with that. And then whatever money you raise goes more toward the cause. The Crohn's Foundation is set up that way. Whereas, depending upon the event, but with the walk, you donate $1, it's something in the 90 percentile of that money, of that dollar. So let's go, I don't know if it's 92, 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is. But if you donate $1, 94 cents, 94% roughly, is going to go to the research to find a cure for Crohn's and colitis, 94%. If you donate money toward one of the runs, like the New York City Marathon or Denver Marathon, or Jill, who's my co-facilitator, she went to Ireland. She went to Ireland to go run a half a marathon to raise money for the foundation. So not every dollar is going to that. Most of it certainly was. I think that is something in the 80 percentile range of the money that goes. There's a few more expenses to go along. But Jill actually paid her own way for transportation, stuff like that, as the for that run. So she paid out of her pocket to do that kind of a thing. Okay, that's what she wanted to do. But you as a money, if you're donating money, certain things that the Crohn's Foundation does, have got a few more expenses than others. So the big runs like that definitely has a little bit more expense. The walk, no, definitely high. The rest of that stuff. So you want to look into that. But the companies are going to look into that too. So if you are running a nonprofit, I suggest you go to Charity Navigator and go take a look at that. And you want to go take a look at the forms that you submit to the IRS and make sure all of it should be current and correct, because you're reporting to the IRS. But you as a donor or a company can go take a look at these documents too. And you can see on there where the money is going to, who the officers are, and all that kind of stuff. But that company that is now empowered their employees to go pick nonprofits, that is now empowered their employees to have this committee to go decide, and then they make the final decision as to which nonprofits they're going to get behind. What's happening there? Quite a few things. One, the company showing its employees, we care about you. We care about what's important to you, not what's important to them, but what's important to you. Let us know what you're thinking. And this is, I think, a beautiful thing, because they're giving the employees a voice. Everybody down from the new hire all the way on up. Everybody has a voice in this thing. The committee's all employees. Wow. What that's showing now is trust. Trust in the employees, right? Nothing, oh yeah, you give us 20 charities and we're going to pick one. So really, so what happens here? The president of the company picks the favorite charity to them? Not the case over here. They want to make sure it's a good charity. You got that consideration, but that's the employees. So now you're empowering the employees. You're showing the employees that you care about every one of them. You now have this committee. You're showing the employees that you trust their decisions as to which nonprofits are going to go behind. And then you're giving the employees the time to do it. The time to do it. You think there's camaraderie that gets involved in that one? Oh, teamwork? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're all volunteering to help out in these committees. That really brings, I think, all those employees together. So it's not just that one person showing up 9 to 5, gets there at 9, takes lunch by themselves, leaves at 5 o'clock, doesn't even interact with anybody, unless they have to. Now some people are interacting with each other. Creates teamwork. What happens when you have teamwork? Everybody pulls together. If everybody pulls together, that means everybody's going to learn a little bit more, engaged a little bit more, not just in that committee, but in the company. And I bet, company point of view, their employees stay longer too. You have employee satisfaction. Where do you want to work? I know I want to work at a company that gives a darn about me, right? I want to work at a company that cares about the community, maybe a little bit more than others, in that respect, because of my efforts and the whole thing. But I want to work for a company that cares that I'm actually an employee of that company. I want to work for a company that is part of the community. I want to work for a company that understands that it does take more than one person to make something happen. It's not a little kingdom, it's a community. So that company that I described that has the committee and making the choice and all this stuff, that's great. I think there's a lot of benefits internally. Companies, employees stay longer. Companies wind up getting more out of those people too. Ooh, does that sound bad? I don't think so. Not really, because the employees care more. Maybe they will stay till 5:15 to finish something instead of 5 o'clock and do what they got to do and just be done. Maybe they will work a little bit harder, a few less bathroom breaks, a few less water cooler breaks, maybe shorter water cooler conversations if there is still a water cooler in some of these places. But you know what I mean? Even those Zoom meetings, maybe they'll actually turn the camera on for the Zoom meeting, not have it camera off and doing whatever else in the background. Been there, done that. So the company's going to gain more. Now let's look outward over here. We got another couple of minutes here to go. We got another 8 minutes. So let's look at it from an outward standpoint. Outward standpoint. So the employees are engaged a little bit more. Maybe the employees are working a little bit more. The employees care about the company. The company cares about the employees. There's definitely a benefit over there. Lower turnover. Hey, man, a high turnover company is an expensive company. Expensive company. I mean, more people got to hire in HR to do the processing. But then there's also more training. And depending on the company, I mean, the training, it may not be a one-day affair. It takes a couple of months to really train somebody. That's a lot of time and money invested in somebody that's new each and every time. That's not good. And if it's a salesperson, it's even worse. You don't want your top salespeople to go leave for another company. That's not good either. That's not good either. All right, so we got the internal side of the company, but let's look external. Let's look external. And again, I'm using this one company as an example, but that company does not do a lot of business here. Nope. Most of their business is global. So why? Why does that company host different networking meetings in their place? There's no real benefit per se. Why do they get involved in different business events? Why are they so supportive outwardly with these different nonprofit events? I mean, if they show up someplace, does it really make a difference? Yeah, it really does make a difference. And it makes a difference in a couple of different ways. One, when they do need to hire, they're getting a person that cares about, that will find it important to work for a company that cares about the community. They do that. They have an engaged employee right from the get-go because the personalities fit. We still got to worry about job descriptions and things like that, but the personality fits. Look, would I be thrilled working for a company that's just work, just do their thing, and doesn't do anything outside to better the outside world a little bit, even if it's the local outside world? Nah, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. So they're probably getting a more loyal kind of a employee when they do need an employee. Now, rumor has it that everything we do is on camera someplace. It's either on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All of a sudden, TikTok becomes more of a thing. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do more things on TikTok. So hopefully, we go figure that one out as that goes. Websites, email marketing campaigns, all the rest of that stuff, advertisements, co-sponsoring something, maybe a company getting behind another company and sponsoring a table or something like that, at a business event. If it's a business event the company doesn't really want to be at, it's like, they got mixed emotions about attending. It's not really worth it, not really their thing. Be nice to show some presence. You know what? Maybe they'll do that by sponsoring a booth table exhibit for some nonprofit at another event. Now, the nonprofit gets center stage on it. The business kind of gets tagged along with it. It shows a nice little thing. But let's get back to the photos, the Instagram and all the rest of that stuff. We do not live in a world where nobody knows what's going on. Oh, did we prove that over the last couple of years? Probably gained too many opinions on everything that everybody does all the way through, but there's not a thing that happens that stays hidden. And if somebody wants to find out about you, easy enough to do that. Besides the standard, Hoover's, Dun& Bradstreet, all the rest of that stuff. Just Google. Just go set up a company on Google Alerts. You want to work for a company? Google them, search them. You can search in a couple of different ways. Go find out what they're doing. You do the Dun& Bradstreet, you do the Hoovers, you do that. You go look at other places to go find out about a company. You want to do business with a company? Let's go business to business. If I want to do business with a company, and I've had this conversation with folks, if I'm going to do business with a company, I want to know what's going on in that company. I want to know if they're active on social media. I mean, I can tell you from a guest standpoint, right? A guest on the show ever again, and I will. But if I have a guest on it, and I want to know, it's like, is the guest, can they communicate? Will they share the program afterwards if I care about that? But let's assume I do, and I do. Can they communicate? Will they share the program? What do they do on their website? Are they all active on social media or not? Are they actually growing their business or not? I'm going to look all that stuff up. All that stuff up. So if you're a company and you're supporting your employees that are doing something else, and you have pictures of your employees at an event, at a nonprofit event someplace, or at a different nonprofit that highlighting your banner because you sponsored a table that they're now sitting at to promote the nonprofit at a business event, and you have that stuff up on your social media pages, maybe someplace in your website for those outside events that you take care of, community events, whatever category you have it under. People see that. People see that. So we could look at this thing from a marketing standpoint. We could look at it from a PR standpoint. We could look at it from an employee engagement standpoint. We could look at it probably the most important standpoint of them all. It's that goodwill deposit. Again, I heard that from somebody who was a speaker. I don't recall who it was. So I give credit to somebody out there. But it was a goodwill deposit. In what bank? In your own bank. In your own bank. So if you have the ability to do this, if you have the ability to support a nonprofit yourself, in-kind contribution, monetary contribution, just showing up, hey, even if it's just sharing something, that's a good thing. If you have the ability to communicate with the company that you work for, and say, look, hey, this might be something that we want to get involved with. It's, engage employees, whatever. It's something that I believe in. Hey, that'll make you feel good if the company gets behind you. It'll also make the company feel and look good if they do care to participate in something like that. Everybody comes out a winner. Everybody does. And when you meet people at a nonprofit event, wherever it might be, for whatever organization it is, well, there's always going to be a whole lot of smiles. There's always going to be a whole lot of support, a whole lot of information to get shared on the whole thing. And you're going to be with the greatest group of them all. Those that are looking to move forward through their own obstacles. I think they call that advancing through obstacles. I don't know. Maybe that's what's on the top of my mind. Could be. Should be on the top of your mind also. So there we go. May 1st. Crohn's and Colitis Walk. Hopefully the weather's good. That'd be good. We'll have a fun time doing it. Get on stage. Getting on stage with Rob Bartlett for this time too. Rob is a comedian. Should be a whole lot of fun. Definitely be a whole lot of fun. The guy's great. Love doing those things. Co-MCing this stuff just is a ball. So we get a chance to share all those corporate sponsors that are going to be there. You want to be one of them? Maybe get the name out. Maybe we'll do a live broadcast as I'm reading off the names and doing it that way. So we'll get the word out to everybody as doing things. Thank you. Bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you for support. Me. Thank you for support of Crohn's Foundation. Thank you for support of whatever nonprofit you're behind. Thank you for your support inside the community as a whole. We have to make this world a better place. And charity does begin at home. Definitely does. I think that was Harry Chapin that said that one. Charity definitely does begin at home. And charity could be just mentoring somebody, sharing something, donating, participating, doing what you do, and do what you do best. Speak well, speak often, and live inspired.